dear students. Right. Today we are supposed to start the new lesson, trigonometry lesson. Right, this trigonometry lesson is very important lesson throughout this combined maths. Most of the areas in lessons people this trigonometry we come across. Therefore, it's very important one. We have to pay more attention on this trigonometry because otherwise there will be huge issues in the future other lessons because most of the lessons available in combined maths, the trigonometry part is very important, right? So then people today I supposed to start trigonometry from the very beginning. In our first group, now we are almost end of the trigonometry part. Now next week onwards we can discuss the past paper sums. So then I think I have been conducting that class for trigonometry I think more than 2.5 months. So like that, I take your class also to completely finish what is trigonometry. You will find a very convenience when you do this trigonometry completely, and the people. This is very helpful lesson in the future, right? In this trigonometry lesson, we have right in this trigonometry lesson, people we have some formulae, some results to remember. Okay. So then, when we do these parts, you have to remember them all, so that without, of course, keeping the all the things to remember later. Because one after other, when we do people, they all are very important, and we need when we work out questions. So if some place you miss people, at that occasion you will find inconvenience in understanding the questions. So therefore, it's very important to remember these results. Okay. Yeah, so then people I start the lesson, write the heading as trigonometry. Right. Right, trigonometry, write the heading people. Right. Okay, now first of all here we have to understand the definition of the radian. You know, when we consider an angle, you know, an angle can be formed when two straight lines intersect each other, right? Like this, when two straight lines intersect each other at a point people. Between these lines, the angles are formed. To measure these angles, people we know the units degree we use. Degree we use, right? In addition to this people, this degree you have of course used, and you know what is meant by a degree. You know, in the compass books we have protractor. In that protractor, of course, the degrees marked from 0 to 180. Then you can basically understand what is the size of the angle of 180. You know, when we consider a line like this is the straight angle. This is the size 180 degrees. Right. Because in addition to this degrees, we use another kind of unit measuring the angles that is defined as the radian. Right. I think you have done this in physics also. The radian is the next unit of measuring the angles. Today, our first part is what is this radian? How to define the radian? And what is the definition? What is the relationship between the radian and the degree? So thereafter, we go forward the basic trigonometry ratios. Okay, I suppose to discuss up to the first three formulae of the trigonometry lesson. Thereafter, we can go some more theories. Because there are more theories in this, right? If you learn these theories completely, only people you can remember this lesson. Understand, right? Okay. Now, people then we come to the definition of the radian. Write down the next subheading as, after writing trigonometry, write down the next subheading as definition of the radian. Definition of the radian. Definition of the radian. Right? Yeah. Okay, you know, now when we consider a circle, when you consider a circle like this, okay, when you consider a circle, people, you know, it has a center, right? The distance from the center to, right, the circle is called as a radius. When we produce this radius, then this whole length, people, this also r, then whole length, this is called as the diameter. Okay, and if I take a particular portion of the circle like this is called an arc. This is called an arc. Okay, and if I consider of a circle a portion bounded by 2 radii, like this is a center, a portion bounded by 2 radii, and this kind of arc, this portion is called as what, people, you know this already, sector, no? This is called as a sector, right? And you know, segment is defined to be like this. When we consider a circle like this, people, right? This kind of chord, and this say an arc. The region bounded between a chord and arc is called as segment. This is called as a segment. People, when we define the radian, we use an arc, right? What kind of arc we need? Okay, people. Now, if I consider this be a circle, right? Suppose its center is here O, right? And suppose the radius is R. Now, I'm going to take an arc whose length is equal to the radius of the circle. This way, an arc I am going to take, people. I'm going to take this way an arc whose length is equal to the radius of the circle. Okay, right. Now, the starting point and ending point of that arc, we join to the center of the same circle like this. Then we have this way. 2 radii we have, people, like this. In between these 2 radii, there is an angle formed. That angle is called as the angle of size 1 radian. 1 radian angle. 1 radian angle, right? So usually it is denoted by this way, the symbol 1c. C stands for the radian there. Understood? So therefore, the definition of 1 radian angle, we can now do like this. We take any circle, people. Circle can be any. We take any circle, and then we take an arc whose length is equal to the radius of the circle. Whose length, arc length, is equal to radius of the same circle. Then you can find the starting point and ending point of the arc. There are 2 points we join to the center of the circle. Then between the 2 radii, people, there is an angle formed. That angle only we defined as what, people? 1 radian angle. Understood? Right? 1 radian angle. So therefore, people, if you need to take another 1 radian angle at the center of the same circle, we have to take another arc whose length is equal to a radius of the same circle. Then once I join that 2 points to the center, another 1 radian angle is formed. Like that, people, if we need to take an angle of 1 radian at the center of the circle, we have to take an arc whose length is equal to the radius of the same circle. Then, people, suppose we have a particular arc whose length is S, right? Whose length is S. Okay, I am going to take new arc whose length is S. Okay, now the starting point and ending point of that arc I am going to join to the center. Then you can very clearly understand there is an angle this. Right, there is an angle this. Suppose this angle is theta in radians. Now, people, I need to find that angle theta in radians. Okay, people, then how to obtain the relation among this arc length is radius r of the circle and angle theta at the center. Yeah, people. Now, you know, an arc of length r subtends 1 radian. Another arc of length r subtends another 1 radian at the center of the circle. Then first of all, we'll calculate how many this kind of arcs of length are available in S. How many such arcs available in the arc S? How to find that, people? Dividing S by R, no? For example, suppose the radius of this circle is 3 centimeters, and suppose the arc length we took as 6 centimeters. Then how to calculate number of arcs of length 3 centimeters available in this S, dividing this 6 by this 3, no? Like that. The arc length is S, radius is R, people. Once you divide S by R, we get number of arcs of length R available where in S. People, if there is only one arc, what radian here? 1 radian. If there are 2 arcs of arc length R, 1 radian, 2 radian available. Now I have assumed number of radians available in all arc from here to here, theta. Then the number of radians given by this should be equal to what? This theta. Am I correct? Then S upon R is equal to theta. Then people, using this way, we can write S equals R theta. So therefore, this is the relationship between arc length, radius of a circle, and angle at the center subtended by that arc. Understood, people? හරි ළමයි නේද? දැන් අපි radian එක define කරන්නේ ඕනෑම circle එකක් අපි ගන්නවා. ඒ circle එකේ radius එක අරගෙන radius එකට සමාන දෙකක් තියෙන arc length එකක් ගන්නවා. ඒ arc එකේ මුලයි අගයි join කරනවා center එකට. එතකොට මේ lines දෙක තමයි radius දෙක. මේ radius දෙක අතර තියෙන angle එක තමයි ළමයි අපි කියන්නේ 1 radian angle එකක් කියලා. Okay, right. එතකොට ඕගොල්ලෝ radians දෙකක් ගන්න ඕන නම් මේ වගේ arcs දෙකක් ගන්න ඕනේ. ගන්න arc length වලට සමාන radian ගණක් set එකේ එනවා. Understood, people? Right? If you take 2 arcs of each length r, then people, the subtended angle at the center of the circle is going to be 2 radians. So therefore, if we have an arc of length S, and if we need to find by that arc the angle subtended at the center, what we need to do is we have to first calculate number of arc lengths of simple r available in this S. That can easily be done, people, dividing S by R. S by R දෙනවා ළමයි අපට radians වලින් කීයක් center එකේ තියෙනවද කියලා. But we have taken that angle at the center subtended by arc S as theta. Then that found S upon R should be equal to what? Theta. By using the cross multiplication, we get S equals R theta. So therefore, people, the relationship between S, R, and theta, people, going to be S equals R theta. Remember, here the arc length is equal to radius into the angle subtended at the center by that arc. That theta should be measured in people radians. So therefore, whenever you use this angle theta in radians only, people, this formula S equals R theta becomes valid. Understood? Okay, right. Okay, so then people, we come to the definition of the radians. So then how define, people? Yeah, this angle is called as subtended angle by the arc. Then how define the 1 radian angle? Yeah, the angle subtended by an arc of a circle whose length is equal to what, people? Radius of the same circle. The angle subtended at the center of a circle by an arc whose length is equal to radius of the same circle is defined as, people, an angle of 1 radian. An angle of 1 radian. Understood? An angle of 1 radian. That is how we define the 1 radian angle. Understood, people? Okay, now whichever the radius of the circle you take, as long as you take the arc whose length is equal to the radius of the same circle, people, the angle subtended at the center by such arc is always 1 radian. Therefore, 1 radian angle does not change according to the radius of the circle we take. Understood? Okay, right. That is the fixed universal value, right? Yeah. Okay, then we will come to the definition of that. Write on this, people, a small knot. Write a small knot, people, like this. Right, write on like this. Write down the angle subtended at the center of a circle. The angle subtended at the center of the circle by an arc whose length is equal to the radius of the same circle. The radius of the same circle, right, people, is defined as an angle of 1 radian. An angle of 1 radian. Right now, an angle of 1 radian. Right. We'll draw people a diagram. Okay. Now suppose here this is the circle. This is the circle, right? Alright. Now a circle here. This is a circle. Alright. It's a circle. Right. Okay. Its center is here. O. Suppose radius is R. Okay. Now we have taken people an arc whose length is R. This way. Okay. Now we take this arc this way and we join this into what the center. This angle is called as people the subtended angle by the arc at the center of the circle. Subtended angle, right? Okay. So this angle, if I take this as A point O and this is B, then this is the 1 radian angle. 1 radian angle. Right now, so then this AOB angle is called as 1 radian. 1 radian angle. Right? So that is how we define it. Okay? Right. Now we come to people next on. Yeah, we come to the next one. The relation among arc length, radius, and angle at the center. Angle at the center. Okay, right, people. Okay. First, write people the heading, the relation among arc length, radius, and angle at the center. Right. So now you take this way, a circle. Center is here, people. Suppose O, and radius is R. And suppose it has an arc of length is this way. Then suppose that arc length subtends an angle theta at the center of the circle. And now we need to obtain the relation S equals R theta. How to explain this, people? Right. If the angle at the center we assume as theta in radians, right? That number of radians available at the center is equal to number of arc lengths simple are available in S. අර්ථ මේ angle theta radians සමාන වෙනවා කාටද? මේ S කියන arc length එක ASCII R කියන arc length කීයක් තියෙනවද? How many arc lengths of length simple are available in S? Equal number of radians available at the center. Then we can write one sentence, what people? Number of radians available at the center of the circle is equal to S divided by R. But since we have taken that number of radians as theta, that S by R should be equal to theta. Thereby using cross multiplication, we get S equals R theta. Okay? Right, then you can write down number of radians available at the center equals S upon R. But this angle is theta. Therefore, S upon R is equal to theta. Using cross multiplication, we get people S equals R theta. S equals R theta. We get S equals R theta, right? Right. Now, people, next thing is this. Next thing is we should know the relationship between radians and the degrees. Radians and the degrees. Right. How many degrees available in 1 radian and how many radians available in 1 degree. That also we have discussed. Right? Yeah. Okay. Now write on the next subheading as relation between degrees and radians. Relation between degrees and radians. Right on the next heading as people. The relation and the relation between radians and degrees. Right, it's the next heading. Okay, for these people, I am going to take a circle of radius R. This our circle. Say this is. I take the diameter like this. Here R, here R. Even now, if I take this semicircle, this semicircular arc Its length, you know, people. The whole circumference is 2 pi r. Then we have half of that divided by 2. Then we get pi times r. This is pi times r. And also, you know, people, the angle here at the center in degrees, it's 180. It's 180 degrees. You know that. Straight angle is 180 degrees. Yeah. Now, my question is this. The same angle 180 degrees, I am going to measure in radians. Right? I am going to measure the same angle in radians, and I am going to take that as in radians theta. In radians theta. The same angle, but the straight angle 180 in degrees, we know that obviously. Straight angle. Straight line angle 180. Straight angle. In degrees, it is 180. Now I am going to find that in terms of radians. I am going to take in terms of radians that angle as theta. Then 180 degrees angle and theta radians angle being equal now, people. The same angle. Right. Now I am going to use to find this angle theta in radians the relation just now we learned S equals r theta. Right? This angle, මේ angle එක theta radians වලින් වාගන්න තමයි අපි අර S equals r theta කියන formula use කරනවා. We know whenever we use this S equals r theta formula, people, that means that theta should be used in radians. Otherwise, that formula is not true. මොකක්ද කියලා? S equals r theta formula එක use කරන හැම වෙලාවකම අර theta කියන angle එක ඔයගොල්ලෝ දාන්න ඕනේ radians වලින්. Right. Now you can write using first with people. I am going to obtain this one, and thereafter we will take down the norms from the beginning. Right. Using S equals r theta. S is this arc length pi times r. Okay, people. And radius of the circle is r, and angle we have assumed as theta. Then you can cancel down this r and this r. Then pi is equal to theta. Theta equals pi. People, what is this pi? Pi is 22 upon 7. 3.142 something, the value of pi. Right? Suppose nearly we have here, this pi is 3, then theta is 3, what? In radians. Nearly 3 radians we have. Near 3 radians, suppose, approximately 3 radians. Yeah, we don't take like that, we'll take as pi. Pi is the value 22 upon 7. Yeah. Now, people, this comes in terms of radians, right? In radians, pi is, this is pi 22 upon 7, right? This is the value of 5. This is coming in radians. Now, people, the same angle only 180 degrees. Then you can write, people, therefore we can say 180 degree angle is equal to pi radians. Okay. 180 degrees together form pi radians. Then people, can you tell me in 1 degree the number of radians available? Yeah, that's very easy. Make we then now divide both sides by 180. Divide both sides by 180. Then what do you get? 180 degrees divided by 180 is equal to pi divided by 180. Then this 180 degrees divided by 180 mean, people, to the left hand side we get 1. Yeah, 1 degree, because 180 when you cancel out we get 1. But the numerator, the unit is degree, but denominator we don't have unit. It is just a number 180. Because we divide both sides by 180. One පැත්තයි දෙකම අපි 180 වලින් බෙදන්නේ 180 degrees වලින් නෙමෙයි 180 වලින් බෙදන්නේ. හරි නේද? ඒකට අපිට ලැබෙන්නේ උඩට degree තියෙන හින්දා 1 degree is equal to pi upon 180 radians. So therefore, in 1 degree, people, in 1 degree we have 1 degree we have pi divided by 180 number of radians. in 1 degree, pi divided by 180 number of radians available. What is pi there? 22 upon 7. We'll take the other way around. Number of degrees available in 1 radian. That's also very easy. Also, you can write people what? Also, I can now write the same relation. This pi radians is equal to 180 degrees. Also, pi radians is equal to 180 degrees. Okay. Then to find number of degrees in 1 radian, I am going to divide both sides by pi. Right? We will divide both sides by pi. Then what do you get? Pi radians divided by pi is equal to 180 degrees divided by pi. Okay. Now you can cancel down this and this. We get 1. 1 radian, therefore, is equal to 180 degrees divided by pi. Because approximately when we consider pi means 22 upon 7, no, it sounds if I take as 3 people, here this will be 3, then 1 divided by 3 is 60. But pi means just about 3. It's 3.142 something. Then when you put that up to 6, 7 decimals, the value of pi here, and when you simplify this to the right hand side, we get people 57 degrees point something, 57 point something degrees on the right hand side as 1 radian in degrees. Understand? So therefore, 1 radian in degrees is this much. 1 radian in degrees is this much. Understood? Okay, right. So then people write on the heading as the relation between radians and degrees. Right, and then write this sentence. Write down. Write the heading first, and then write on like this. Consider a semicircular arc of radius simple r. Okay. Now draw this diagram, people. Make other lava. Another we research there. Obtain these two results, people. Correct. Right now, this way we consider circle. It's half of circle we take people, then semicircular arc we have. It's the arc length is pi r. We use this as equals r theta, and thereafter we calculated that angle theta. We got that as pi. Pi means 22 upon 7, right? Yes. Then we got the same angle in degrees as 180 degrees. So therefore, that found angle in terms of radians we got as pi is equal to 180. So then 180 degree angle is equal to pi radian. So by using that, we got this way the two relationships. Okay, right. Right, now next thing is people, it is worth to know for some degree angles corresponding a radian value. Okay. Yeah, now let's see how to take that. Right now, I think you have completed this all. You have completed this all. Okay. Right. So ළමයි ඔයගොල්ලෝ මතක තියාගන්න. එක ඩිග්‍රී එකක් ඇතුලේ මෙච්චර රේඩියන් ගණනක් තියෙනවා. pi divided by 180. එක රේඩියන් එකක් අස්සේ මෙච්චර ඩිග්‍රී ගණනක් තියෙනවා. 180 by pi. 180 divided by pi. Right. Okay. Now we can write for some angles in degrees the corresponding radian figures. Right, people, now we'll take down a knot, small knot. We take down a small knot. Right, here we have angle. This left column we have degrees, and here radians. People, in our workings, usually these angles we need, right? 10 degree, 12 degree, 15 degrees, 18 degrees, 22.5 degrees. These angles we need in terms of people radians. Okay, right. And 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 60 degrees, 75 degrees, 90 degrees, 120 degrees, right? And next one, people. Here, 135 degrees, 150 degrees, right? 150 degrees, 180 degrees, 210, 270, and people 360. Usually, this angle we use in workings. People there, we should have an idea about these angles in radians. So that is why we are going to find here, right? We will prepare this kind of table. මේ table එක ගහගන්න ළමයි අපි. අපිට මේ angles ගොඩක් පිට උමනා වෙනවා. මේ angles අපි බලන්න ඕනේ radian වලින් කොච්චරයිද කියලා. ගොඩක් මහන්සි වෙන්න ඕනේ මතක තියාගන්න මේක ගණන් හදනකොට එකම ඔයගොල්ලන්ට විතර විතර පාවිච්චි කරනකොට මතක තියාගන්න පුළුවන්. Right. Very often we use these people, therefore no need to pay more attention to remember them more. Right. When you work out questions, since we use them very often, we can very easily keep that in our memory. Okay. All right, people. Yeah. Now I need 10 degrees in terms of radians. Alamai. Look at this. 1 degree is equal to 5 divided by 180 radians. Then we need this 10 degrees. Then in order to get 10 degrees to the left hand side, people, we have to multiply left hand side by what? 10. Then the right hand side, meantime, we have to multiply by 10. Then people, in order to obtain degree angle in radians, you have to multiply this by that degree value. මේ degree angle එක radian වලට හරවනකොට මේ 5 divided by 180 වලින් අර angle එකේ size එක වැඩි කරන්න. So then if you need people 10 degree to convert to radians, people multiply this 5 divided by 180 by 10. You can cancel down this and this, then we get 5 by 18. The angle 10 degrees in radians, right? This is 5 by people what? 18. To get 12 degrees, then all is this figure should be multiplied by, right? This figure should be multiplied by the size of the degree angle. Okay. There and here we get people 1, then 5 by 15. 5 by 15. 15 degrees. Like that, we can now do people. 5 by 180 multiplied by 15. Here we have 1 and 3. 5 by 2 coming, no? 5 by 2. 18 degrees. Five by 10, no? And you can cancel down, no? 5 by 10. This is 5 by 10. 5 by 10. Okay? Right. Right. 22.5. Right. Now keep calculating these people. Write down this. Oh, Lian. Me have angle එකක්ම මෙයාගෙන් වැඩි කරන්න 5 divided by 180. Okay? Right.
pi divided by 180, you should multiply by each of these angles, right? Yeah. Then we get like this. This is pi by 6, this is pi by 8, and this is pi by 4, pi by 3. Right. 75 means what, people? 75 means 15 multiplied by 5, no? Then 5 times pi by 12. 95 by 2. 120, people. 120 means 60 multiplied by 2. 60 is pi by 3. Then when you multiply this by 2, we get 2 pi by 3. 2 pi by 3. Right. 135 mean what, people? When you multiply 45 by 3, we get 135. 45 is pi by 4. Then 135 means 3 times pi by 4. 3 pi by 4. 3 pi by 4. People, 150 degrees. 150 we can obtain multiplying 30 by 5. Here, 30 is pi by 6. Then 150 means 5 pi by 6. 185. 210. 210 you can obtain multiplying 30 by 7. 30 is pi by 6. Then this is 7 pi by 6. 270, people. 90 to 3. 90 is pi by 2. Then 3 pi by 2. 360 means, people, 180 multiplied by 2. Then 180 is 5, no? Then 360 means 2 times 5. This way we can obtain some relations. Right now, people, right. Right. And now our next subheading is, people, area of a sector. Area of a sector. Area of a sector. Area of a sector. Right. People, now sector means, you know, of a circle. When we consider a portion which is bounded by 2 radii and this way an arc. Right. This part only we define as a sector. Sector. If this angle at the center is theta in radians, and if the radius is r, then this area we can obtain, people, half theta r square. This is the formula to find this sectorial area. හරිද ළමයි? අපි මේ වගේ මේ circle එකක මෙන්න මේ විදිහට bound වෙන කැලේ එක තමයි sect එක කියන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ radius දෙකකින් arc එකකින් මේ වගේ bound වෙන කැලේ එක තමයි sect එක කියන්නේ. එතකොට එයාගේ center එකේ තියෙන angle එක theta නම් හැබැයි theta measure කරන්න ඕනේ radians වලින්. Then this area is, people, given by half theta r squared. Theta should be measured in, people, definite radians. Otherwise, you can't use this one to find the area of the sector. Understood? Right. People, this formula we can prove. The area of this sector is given by this. We can prove. Let's see how to prove that. This is not compulsory, but, people, there are something to think. As a math student, you should be able to prove that. By this proof, people, you will realize many things in it. Okay, right. The mathematical thinking is there. Let's see, people, how to prove this. Okay, write down people area of the sector. And draw this diagram. And we'll write the area of the sector is given by half theta r squared. Right. Area of the sector is given by half theta r squared. Yeah. Theta is measured in radians. Theta is measured in radians. Theta is measured in radians. හරි ළමයි බලමු කොහොමද මේක ප්‍රූව් කරන්න කියලා. මේකේ චූටි චූටි තැන් ටිකක් තියෙනවා හිතන්න ඕගොල්ලෝ. බලමු අපි කරන්න. There are people very sharp places to think in this case. We'll see, right? Yeah. Okay. Now I'm going to prove it like this. All right. First, take down this table, draw the diagram, and write this sentence. Area of the sector is given by half theta r squared, where theta is measured in radians. Theta is measured in radians. Okay, right. Right, people. Yeah, this is how we prove it. Very simple proof is there, right? Okay, now this is what I do. I'm going to take this sector as right AOB sector. මම මේ sector එක ගන්නවා AOB sector එක කියලා. Understood? I take the sector as people. Okay. AOB. Now what I do is this. I divide this sector into very small sectors. That means this sector. This AOB sector, it is the original sector. I'm going to divide that original sector into very small sectors. ළමයි මේ AOB කියන sector එක චූටි sectors වලට බෙදනවා අපි. Right? So that means people, I cut along this radius. Then we get very small sector. Understand? This sector is people too small such that this radius and this radius are almost the same. Understood? අර sector එක කොච්චර චූටිද කිව්වොත් ළමයි ඒ sector එක හදන රේඩි දෙක ළමයි එක මත එක වැටෙන්න ඔන්න මෙන්න the two radii are about to fall on each other. They are about to overlap each other. එච්චරද පොඩි. Then people, what can you say about this angle between these two radii? මේ radius දෙක අතර තියෙන මෙන්න මේ චූටි angle එක ගැන මොකද කියන්නේ? එයා චූටිම කෙනෙක්. It is very small one. That very small part is people of the original angle theta. Of that theta, it's very small. From theta, this sector is taken very small part. Therefore, to denote this angle, we use the notation delta theta. People, delta we always use to say very small. In this case, this angle is very small part of what? This whole angle theta, no? This angle is very small part of the whole angle theta. So therefore, we use the notation delta theta to denote what? This very small angle. අරලම. අර delta කින් චුට්ටක් තමයි අරයා ගන්නෙ. delta කින් චුට්ටක් ගන්න හින්දා තමයි theta කින් චුට්ටක් ගන්න ළමයි. theta කින් චුට්ටක් ගන්න හින්දා අපි කියනවා delta theta කියලා. theta කින් චුට්ටයි ගන්නෙ. delta පාවිච්චි කරන ළමයි අපි චුට්ටක් කියන්නේ. ඕඩ්ඩා. We use the letter delta to represent very small. Understand? Yeah, then people in this way, can somebody tell me, if I divide this original sector into very small sectors like this, how many such small sectors we can obtain by using this original sector A or B? Yeah, people. This sector we consider is very thin as a hair. So that's very small, very small. Understand? Right. Then how many such small sectors we can obtain by dividing this original sector A or B? People, we suppose we take that as infinity, a big value. Understand? Then there are many, yeah, this way, small sectors we get. Understand? මේ වගේ ළමයි ගොඩාක් sectors අපිට මෙයාගෙන් ගන්න පුළුවන්. මේ එක sector එකක් කොච්චර පොඩද කිව්වොත් මේ එසකයා ගහක් ගන්නකොට වගේ පොඩි කට්ටියටම අපි ගන්න ඔය. තේරුණාද? Okay? The other thing is this. When the sector is too small, people, this, when we consider a sector, small sector, these 2 points are very close to each other. Understand? The two radii are very close to each other. Therefore, these 2 points are very close to each other, so that they are almost the same. තේරුණාද ළමයි? අර චූට් සෙක්ටර් එකේ රේඩි දෙක ආක් එක හම්බෙන තැන පොයින්ට්ස් දෙක ගත්තොත් ඒ පොයින්ට්ස් දෙක ළමයි ඉතාම ළඟ දෙන්නේ. ඒ දෙන්න ඊළඟ වෙලාවේ එකක් උඩ එකක් වැටෙන්න යන්නේ. Understand? The 2 points, the 2 radii meet the arc are very close, so that next moment they overlap each other. එච්චරට පොඩි දෙන්නේ පොඩි එකක් තමයි අපි ගන්න. චූටි එක. Right. Now, people, other thing is this. When I consider, suppose this way, I consider this way an arc. This is the arc length. When I join this point and this point, this is the straight length. Now you can see here, the arc length is greater than the straight length. Now I bring this whole sector little bit smaller than this. මේ sector එක ළමයි අපි චුට්ටක් පොඩි කරනවා තව. මේ මෙහෙම ගමු බලන්න. දැන් බලන්න ළමයි arc length එක මේ. මෙන්න arc length එක. මෙන්න straight length එක. Still the arc length is greater than the straight length. Again, we will bring this sector little bit smaller. තව ටිකක් මෙයාට පොඩි කරනවා ළමයි මේ බලන්න. මෙන්න arc length එක, මෙන්න straight length එක. People, do you feel something? ඔබට මොනවද දැනෙනවද? අර sector එක අඩු කරගෙන එනකොට when we minimize the size of the sector little by little, people, what can you say? That arc length and straight length, the gap between them, that in sense difference of the length of arc length and straight length, people, that gap means the difference will be minimizing. හරි මේ විදිහට sector එක අඩු කරන එනකොට ළමයි මෙන්න මේ arc length එකේ දිගයි straight length එකේ දිගයි ටික ඒ දෙන්න අතර වෙනස අඩු වෙන්න අර ගන්නවා. තේරුණාද? තව ටිකක් පොඩි කරන්න. Right, people? You see here. Then like that, when we bring that sector smaller and smaller, people, one occasion you can expect what? That arc length and straight length, people, approximately equal. Approximately equal. If you further minimize the size of the sector, one occasion we can take the arc length and straight length become equal. Understand? When the sector is very small, too small, people, that arc length of that small sector and the straight length of the small sector become equal. Understood? So therefore, what I am going to do here is, people, after dividing this original sector into infinitely many small sectors like this, since each sector is too small, I can approximate that arc length and straight length being equal. Therefore, people, this sector, small sector, is of course approximately a triangle. I can approximate a small sector as people a triangle. Then assuming that small sector as a triangle, we can calculate area of the small sector by using the formula which we use to calculate the area of a triangle. Understand? Like that, one by one, we calculate the area of each what sector. Area of each sector, we calculate one by one. Then what I do is, people, I add all those areas of all sectors together. Then by that sum, we should get what? Area of this original sector A or B. That's the method. Understand, people? Let's see how to do this now, one by one, discuss this. Okay, right. Then we come to that. Right. Then you write, people, this way. Write down this way. Consider a sector of radius r and radius r and angle at its center, angle at its center theta radians, right? Right down. Let us divide this sector into very small sectors, right? Yeah. Now suppose we have this here small sectors, right? Now draw the diagram, people. This is small sectors we have. So this diagram. This is small sectors we get. This whole angle is theta, right? Right. Right now, people, හරිනේද ළමයි? හරි. අපි දැන් තව sentence එකක් ලියමු. We write, people, another sentence there. Right. Write down like this. Write down. When we consider a small sector, when we consider a small sector, since it is too small, we can consider that sector as a triangle, right now. Let the angle at the center of such sector B delta theta. Right. Even now I am going to draw that small what sector. Small sector, but I draw this one having a big scalar to get the clear picture. Right. This is that sector, people. Right. We thought this one as straight. This angle is delta theta. Right. Delta theta. This radius is R, this radius also R. People, this is now arc length as well as straight length. We said arc length and straight length being equal because the sector is too small. අරද ළමයි. මේ arc length එකයි කෙලින් length එකයි දෙකම එකට සමානයි. ඇයි ඒ? මේ sector එක චූටි එකක් නේ. අපි කියවනේ චූටි වෙනකොට sector එක arc length එකයි straight length එකයි එකට සමාන වෙනවා කියලා. එහෙනම් මේක තමයි අර triangle එකේ base එක. This is the people base of the triangle. Meantime, this same thing is the arc length of the sector. Understood? Then this length we can calculate by using the formula S equals R theta. Understand? All right. People, now we can draw this what small sector. Yeah, you can write, if I take this as people P and this point is Q, this is all the same center now here, right? අරද ළමයි මේ අපි මේ තියෙන ගොඩාක් small sectors වලින් එක්කෙනෙක් මේ ගත්තේ. ඇයි යාගේ ඒරියා කොහොමද? Right? I took only one sector among the infinitely many available there here. Yeah. Then using S equals R theta, this PQ arc length you can write, radius is R and delta theta. Right? This is now R delta theta. Right, people, then how to write the OPQ area? We said that OPQ sector is OPQ triangle now. People, what is the area of a triangle? Half base into perpendicular height. POQ triangle area. POQ area. It is now equal to POQ triangle area. Right. POQ area, POQ sectorial area, right? POQ sectorial area is equal to POQ triangle area. People, when we consider this POQ as a triangle, formula to find the area of a triangle is half base into perpendicular height. Then it is half here. Base is people r delta theta. Can somebody tell me what is the height? Perpendicular height, people. Again, when you drop a perpendicular, people, that perpendicular height is going to be radius of the circle, no? Radius of the circle, right? Half base into perpendicular height is r. Then r and r, people, r squared delta theta. This is the POQ sectorial area. POQ is this formula. Right now, POQ area is that half r squared delta theta. හරිද ළමයි? එහෙනම් දැන් බලන්න අර චූටි සෙක්ටර් එකක ඒරියා එක දෙන්නේ කවුද කියන්නකෝ? චූටි සෙක්ටර් එකක ඒරියා එක දෙන්නේ කවුද ළමයි? ඔව්. මෙතන ඇන්ගල් එක ඩෙල්ටා තීටා. mean half radius squared multiplied by angle at the center. Therefore, to find the area of a small sector, we have to use the formula this half radius squared multiplied by angle at the center delta theta over there, right? Yeah. Now, right, come up with these people. Now let's come back to this. අපි ආයතන මේකට ළමයි. දැන් මේකේ මේ චූටි ඇන්ගල් එක නේ delta theta කියන්නේ ළමයි. right. දැන් අපි කොහමද කිව්වේ? මේ total whole area එක AOB area එක ගන්න. In order to take the AOB sectorial area, people, we said each small sector, the area of each small sector we find one by one, and those all areas we add together. Then by the sum of that all areas, people, we should get the area of the AOB what sector. Understood? That's the way. Now we'll calculate that area of each sector. Right? People, I am going to take for my convenience this angle as delta theta 1, small angle this, huh? You have to mark in the previous diagram these things, delta theta 1 and the next adjacent one. දැන් ළමයි අපි මේකනේ මේ ඇන්ගල් එකේ චූටි එකක් කිව්වට ඊළඟ එක්කෙනා ඒ චූටි එකට වඩා තවත් වෙනස් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. We take in the more general form the angle at the center of each small sector, too small, that's true, people. But even though when we consider from one small sector to another small sector, the angle at the center may vary. Then I am going to mark those angles at the center, people, as delta theta 1, delta theta 2, delta theta 3, and so on. I can mark. I can't mark all. Why, people? There are in fact many small sectors. ඔක්කොම එකින් එක ලකුණු කරන්න බෑ ළමයි අපිට. අයි ගොඩාක් තියෙනවනේ. එහෙනම් ලකුණු කරගෙන ඉන්න වෙයි මේ අවුරුදු දෙකම විතර ඔක්කොම. එච්චරට තියෙනවා අපිට මෙතන. අපි දෙක තුනක් අරගෙන බලමු. Right? Yeah. So the next one is, people, what? I can take the next one as delta theta 2. Delta theta 2 means very small angle. Delta theta 1 also very small angle. ඒවා චූටි ඇන්ගල් ළමයි. ඒක අපි මේ delta use කරන්නේ. මේ වගේ චූටි ලකුණු කරගන්න. delta theta 3. This is delta theta 4 and so on. We can mark. This angle is delta theta 4. Right, like that. Okay, right. Now we can write, people, another statement like this. Right. Then we can write area of the sector AOB is equal to what? Sum of the areas of all small sectors, all small sectors. The radius, this is R, no people, we took, right? Then I can write first. Very first sector, what is the area? Half R squared, angle at the center, what is that? Delta theta 1. Plus, what's next people? Second angle at the center is delta theta 2. Half R squared, delta theta 2. Plus, third one people, half R squared, delta theta 3. ළමයි ඉතින් ඔයාගේ තව කොච්චරක් ලියන්න තියෙනවද? ගොඩාක් ලියන්න තියෙනවා. නේද? ඉතින් අපිට ඔක්කොම ලියන්න බෑ. එච්චරට තියෙනවා ලියන්න. එතකොට අපි දානවා ඩොට්ස් තුනක්. People, when we put this way 3 dots people, that says what? This way we can write up to infinity. Without an end, there are what things to write. අපි ඩොට් තුනක් දාන්න ළමයි. ගොඩාක් තව ලියන්න තියෙනවා. අපිට ලියලා ඉවර කරන්න බෑ කියන්නේ. අපිට ඔක්කොම ලියන්න ඕන නැහැ. බලමු අපි දැන් කොහොමද ගන්නෙ කියලා. No need to write all people. Yeah, you can very clearly notice when we keep writing this way, the areas of all small what sectors, you can very clearly notice there, in every term, you have this half an R squared, half an R squared, half an R squared. In every term, we have that half an R squared. That half into R squared, people, we can take out as a common factor. Understood? Yeah. Once you take that half an R squared, half R squared out from a bracket, then within bracket we have here delta theta 1 plus delta theta 2 plus delta theta 3 and so on up to infinity like this. Yeah, can you think what is the answer of this? People, now see here, delta theta 1 is this very small angle, delta theta 2 is very small angle, this next angle is this, next angle is this, next angle is this, like that. All these angles we have to now add. All this angle now we have to add. The sum of all these angles only people come in within bracket. You know, sum of all these angles, this plus this plus this and so on. Finally, they will add up to what? Finally, their sum will be equal to what? People, this theta. Why? That theta only we have, right, broken people into very small angle. Therefore, finally, that sum of all small angles will be equal to what people? Theta. So this is nothing but theta. Therefore, what? Half R squared theta. This is theta, no? Then this is half theta R squared. This is the AOB sectorial area. AOB sectorial area. This is how people we prove that result. මෙහෙම ළමයි අපි උත්තරට යන්නේ. බලන්න මෙතන අපිට අවශ්‍ය වෙච්ච දේ අර චූටි සෙක්ට් එකක් ගන්නකොට චූටි සෙක්ට් එකේ ඒරියා එක අපිට ඇප්‍රොක්සිමේට් කරන්න පුළුවන් වුණා ට්‍රයැන්ගල් එකකේ ඒරියා එක බවට. දැන් එතකොට ඔයගොල්ලෝ කියයි, you might say people, sir, even though we bring the sector to very small, can we assume that area of the sector and area of the triangle become equal? People, possible. We have to think how people, that two radii being almost the same, that means almost the same, in the sense they overlap in the next moment. Then you might say, still there is a gap, no? Then we furthermore bring them too closer. එහෙම හිතනවා නම් ඔයගොල්ලෝ ગેප් එකක් තියෙනවා කියලා අර රේඩියයි දෙක තමයි ළමයි තව ටිකක් ලං කරනවා. තවත් ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඩවුට් එකක් තියෙනවා තව ටිකක් ලං කරනවා. එහෙම ලං කරපුවම ළමයි යම් වෙලාවක ওই දෙක equal වෙන්න ඕනේ. equal වෙන එක ලං කරනවා අපි. බලන්න මේ concept එක, think that concept to think people in this case. That kind of thinking ability we have to use in maths people. Don't give up this people. This is the way we prove this. And people, you can derive the area of a circle by using this. ළමයි අපි දන්නවනේ circle එකක area එක මොකද්ද? radius එක r නම් මේ වගේ circle එකක් අපි ගත්තොත් ළමයි radius එක r නම් මෙයාගේ area එක මොකද්ද? A equals pi r square. A equals pi r square. That formula we can obtain by this. You have learned that in your levels, no, without proof. Yeah, people, this sector only, right? This sector we can convert to a circle. How? This kind of sector, people, we can convert to a circle. How? We increase this angle up to this way. Then this radii will turn this way and comes on to the other like this. Then a sector can be converted to a circle by increasing the angle at the center of the circle to 360 degrees. When the small angle theta here we had, people we increase this angle theta up to 360. Then this sector will be what the circle. Then theta is 360. People, 360 means 2 pi. Then if the area of a sector is given by this one, when this sector becomes a circle, theta is 2 pi. Then when you put 2 pi here, people, by this we should be getting, people, the area of the circle. See what happens when we put theta 2 pi? Half theta 2 pi r square. Cancel down this end, is what you get, pi r square, area of a circle. Then how do you reject the way we used to take this area of a sector? Because by that we can obtain the area of a circle also, pi r square. Therefore, the way we taught, people, very accurate. If you get a doubt, how can this area of the small sector and the triangle become equal? Again, minimize that area of the sector. That means the two radii you have to bring furthermore closer to each other. One occasion they must be equal, right? Think very carefully, right? So then, people, that answer we got, and now we can write as a knot like this. We can write as a knot like this. Write down, when this sector, not write down like this. When this sector becomes a circle, theta equals 2 pi. Then the area of the circle is given by what, people? Substitute for this theta, 2 pi, half 2 pi r square. 2 and 2 you can cancel down. We get pi r square. We get, people, pi r square. This is how we obtain the area of a circle by this result. Okay, no? Right. You see, we can obtain the area of the circle. Right, we'll come to one example. After that, we can go to what, people, the basic trigonometric ratio. Right, basic trigonometric ratio. Right, no? We'll come to one question. Right now, people, suppose here we have a circle this way. We have a circle this way. All right, and here its radius is people 14 centimeters. Right? It has a sector. The angle at the center is 60 degrees. Right. Now we join this AB. Right. Now my question is, people, this area, this is a segment, no? The question is this area we need to find. Right. Draw this as a question, and we write. Find the area of the shaded region. Shaded region. Shaded region. Right, people, I need to take your attendance. Please, today I think some new students join the class. Right, people? Soon after the class, not soon after class, tomorrow, or as soon as possible, please send me your name and WhatsApp number and the school to include your name into my register. Okay? ළමයි ළමයි වෙල ඉන්න නම් ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ ළමයි ස්කෝලේ WhatsApp number එකයි 2023 කියලා දාලා මට WhatsApp එකක් දාන්න මගේ number එකට. මේක මගේ number 07555947865. මොකද අපි ඉදිරියට පන්තිය කරනකොට මේ පන්ති වලට රෙජිස්ටර් වෙන ළමයිට විතරයි ගන්නෙ. ඕපන් කරලා පන්ති ආයෙ කරන්නේ ළමයි. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ නමින් රෙජිස්ටර් වුණාට පස්සේ තමයි ඔයගොල්ලන්ට අප්‍රූවල් එකක් දෙන්න පන්තිට එන්න. රෙජිස්ටර් වෙච්ච නැති ළමයිට එන්න බැරි වෙනවා. අද අපි පන්ති ඕපන් කරලා දුන්නේ ඔක්කොටම. නෙක්ස්ට් වීක් ඉඳලා අපි රෙජිස්ටර් වෙච්ච ළමයිට විතරයි අපි පන්තිට එන්න දෙන්නේ. ඒ නිසා ඔයගොල්ලෝ නෙක්ස්ට් වීක් එන්න කලින් පන්තිට දිගටම එන්න බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවනම් ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේ විස්තර ටික එවන්න. ඔයගොල්ලෝ රෙජිස්ටර් කරගන්නවා. දැන් අපි ගිය මාසෙ හිටපු ළමයි. දැන් අපි ගිය මාසෙ තමයි පන්ති පටන් ගත්තේ. ඒක ලෙසන් එකක් අපි කරලා ඉවරයි. දැන් අද අලුතෙන්ම ආපු ළමයි ටිකට ඒ ලෙසන් එක අපි කරේ ඉන්ඩිසස් ඇන්ඩ් ලොගරිතම් කියන ලෙසන් එක ළමයි. ඒකේ රෙකෝඩින්ග්ස් 4යි තියෙන්නේ. රෙකෝඩින්ග්ස් 4 බලලා ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ඒක කවර් කරගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක එච්චර අමාරු ලෙසන් එකක් නෙවෙයි. මේ ලෙසන් එකෙන් තමයි අපි පටන් ගන්න. ඒකට අද අලුතෙන්ම ආපු ළමයි. The newcomers, they came to the class today itself, because they can get the recording of the last lesson, logarithms and indices part we did. 4 recordings available. I can provide those recordings. Right? Before that, people, you have to send your name and the WhatsApp number and your school, right, to me. Then only I take your data to my register. Then only I register you as a student. Otherwise, people, most of the students, they join the class and give up the class. Actually, now there are many classes. But even though people, my target is to give you the best result. People, now once a student is coming here and there, once a blue moon, if we come to the class and continue class, people, we can't give a good result. Because in my history, people, almost all students, they regularly, of course, followed my course throughout 2 years, people. They, of course, most of the students, they got good passes, and most of the students now eligible to enter the university. So therefore, such history we have. හරි ළමයි අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් පන්තිට අවුරුදු දෙකම එක දිගට හොඳට එන ළමයෙක් කවදාවත් ළමයි අඩු රිසල්ට් එකක් ගන්න නැහැ. SC නෙමෙයි අපේ ළමයි BA තමයි ගන්නෙ. ඒතර අපි හිස්ටරි එකේ දැන් මගේ 23rd batch එක ඕගොල්ලෝගේ batch එක. හරි. ඒතර අපිට ගොඩාක් ළමයි පාස් වෙච්ච ළමයි ඉන්නවා. දැන් ලොකු ආයතන වල ඉංජිනේර්ස්ලා ඉන්නවා අපේ ළමයි. ඒතර මේ ළමයි ඔක්කොම රෙගියුලර්ලි අපිත් එක්ක ඉගෙන ගත්ත ළමයි අවුරුදු දෙකක් විතර. ඒතර ළමයෙක් දවසක් යනවා දවසක් ඉන්නේ නැහැ. එහෙම වුණාම ළමයි ඉගෙන ගන්න බෑ. ඒ ළමයි සමහරට ෆේල් වුණොත් එහෙම අපි පන්තිය වල තමයි ෆේල් වෙන්නේ කියලා ඒගොල්ලෝ කියන්නේ. ඒගොල්ලෝ කියන්නේ කවදාවත් ඒගොල්ලෝ වැරද්ද ලැජ්ජයිනේ. ෆේල් වුණේ අනේ සර් වැඩ කරේ නැහැ කියලා කියන්නේ. නමුත් අපි කලින් පාස් වෙච්ච ළමයි ගෙනහොත් ඒගොල්ලෝ කියයි අපි කොහොමද වැඩ කරේ කියලා. ඒ නිසා මම කැමති නැහැ එහෙම ළමයි ප්‍රමාණයකට ගන්නලා අපි ඉතින් හිස්ටරි එක වෙනස් කරගන්න. ඒ නිසා ඔයගොල්ලෝ දිගටම එන ළමයි ටික ඉන්නවනම් එක්කෙනෙක්වත් මම පන්තිට ඇති. මොකද මම පන්ති දිගටම කරනවා. මේ ඔන්ලයින් පන්ති ළමයි දිගටම කරන එක්සෑම්ස් වලට යන කරනවා. ටීචර්ස් පන්ති පටන් ගත්තා කියලා මේ පන්ති නතර කරන්නේ නැහැ. මේක දිගටම යනවා. ඒ ඔයගොල්ලෝ බය නැතුව එන්න. ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඕන තැනක ඉන්න පුළුවන් ලංකාවේ මේ පන්ති වෙනකම් යනවා. Understood, people, right? We continue this class till you A-level examination. I am not going to stop that class in the middle. And therefore, people, if they feel that this class is okay for you, people, then send me your register, your name, WhatsApp number, and the school. I register you, and then only I accept you as a student, right? So otherwise, people, it is a very difficult situation in order to get all the students in the class. So without having any responsibility, they can join the class and they give up the class. That's of course meaningless. Right. Okay. So then mention your name, school, and WhatsApp number, and furthermore mention your batch 2023 Wednesday group also, because there are 2 groups now, right? Another group, of course, I am going to start. That is only for some particular students. They can't join this class at this time, Wednesday and Monday morning. So they asked another specific time. For them, I start another new group. Okay, right. Okay, people. Then first draw this one and right, find the area of the shaded region. Yeah, let's see how to do this now. Right. And you have to remind another one thing. When you pay your class fees, people, you have to pay the class fees in every month before the second week. Last 2 months, of course, due to the situation in the country, most of the students, they were unable to pay the fees properly. They also must pay the fee, people, before the second week, right? The fee is 3,000 rupees, right? If somebody finds some difficulties economically, people, they can, of course, speak to me personally. I never, of course, disclose your personal things to any other guy. So because of the present situation in the country, most of the people, they find very difficulties. So we know that one. Meantime, people, we also find such difficulties. So therefore, we can, of course, flexible. All are human beings. Difficulties means people not forever, at the moment only. So therefore, if somebody is unable to pay the fee, please, of course, inform me. We can consider that situation and we can give a particular release, particular sort of relaxation in paying the fee. Most of the students are at the moment like that available, but people, some of the students are really, they find some difficulties, but some of the students, they cheat us. All right, they cheat us, but don't do like that, because this chance is for the most difficult students, right? They must actually, they have the right to learn. They must learn from somebody. So we give that chance. Don't misuse that chance if you give that opportunity, right? Okay. Right, we'll see, people, how to take this one. Right, now I supposed to take this answer this way. Sometimes we might have thought to get this answer. People, what's the way of getting this one? First, I am going to find the area of this AOB sector. Right, I am going to take the area of this AOB sector, whole sector. Okay. And from that area, I am going to subtract this AOB triangle. I am going to subtract the area of the AOB triangle. Understand? Then we get this shaded but area. Here, can someone tell me how to find this AOB sectoral area? You can't speak because I got muted. Now, people, this way. This AOB area, AOB sectorial area, you can write, people. AOB sectorial area, you can write. How? You can write that AOB sectorial area by using that formula just now we found. What is that? Half theta r square. Because this theta, you have to substitute in this in radians, not degrees. Here, degrees 60 degrees. If you put 60 here, people, the answer is wrong. We said what? This theta should be what? Radians. People, what is 60-degree angle? Is in radians pi by 3. Therefore, we have to put here pi by 3. Then by using this formula with this theta pi by 3 and this R14, you can find OAB, people, what? Sectorial area. Now we have to find the area of this AOB triangle. People, area of a triangle is what? Base half into base into perpendicular height. This is the formula, no? Right? If we draw a triangle like this, let this triangle be ABC. If you drop a perpendicular, if this is H, this is called as the height, then area is going to be what? Half into AB into H. Then for this people, when we drop a perpendicular from here to this AB, that perpendicular height we need. And this AB length also we need. AB length also we need. Understand? Right? Right. How to find this AB length and this height? That's the in-hand issue. Yeah. We can find it like this people. Right? Yeah. අපිට එක ළමයි මෙන්න මේ විදිහට හොයාගන්න පුළුවන්. Yeah. Now you can very clearly see this angle is 60. Right? These two sides are equal. මේ sides දෙක ළමයි සමානයි. Then you know when these two sides are equal, you know this angle and this angle are equal. Understand? Right. But here we have 60. Sum of these three angle is 180. This plus this is 180. Since here we have 60, the sum of these two angles should be 120. Since these two angles are equal people, each angle is 60. Therefore, this is 60, this is 60, this is also 60. The three angles are equal. Therefore, definitely this triangle AOB is what? Equilateral triangle. Understood? Right? Then we can start like this. We can write it like this. I'm going to take this one, AOB triangle. This is 60. This and this being equal, each 14 centimeters. We drop a perpendicular like this. I take this height as H. And this is 60, this is also 60. This also 60. Right, no? Yeah. First draw this triangle people, and then we'll write like this. Right. You can write. You see. Maybe the triangle AOB is an equilateral triangle equilateral triangle. That means people what? All three sides are equal. Therefore, AB equals 14 units. AB equals 14 units. The units can be meters or centimeters or whatever. We don't care about that people. මේ දිග ළමයි centimeter වෙන්න පුළුවන්, meter වෙන්න පුළුවන්. අපි ඒක හිතන්න යන්නේ නැහැ. Right. Okay. Now I have dropped a perpendicular. I take this point as C. Perpendicular foot. People, now you can very clearly see here. If this angle is 90, this is also 90. Then can you see here? This triangle ACO or AOC and this triangle BOC are what? Congruent triangles. Reason? What is reason, people? This is the hypotenuse of this triangle. This is the hypotenuse of this triangle. The two hypotenuses are equal. And this side is common, opposite side for both triangles. Then under the case of hypotenuse and side, the two triangles are congruent. For two congruent triangles, people, corresponding sides are equal. So therefore, this AC length and CB length are equal. And then you can write also AC length and CB length being equal, right? This whole length is divided by the point C into two equal parts, but the whole length is 14. This and this being equal means each length should be 7 units. No, therefore you can write AC CB length is 7 units. හරිද ළමයි? මේ triangle දෙක congruent වෙනවා. මොකක්ද හේතුව? hypotenuse and side. මේ triangle එකේ මේ hypotenuse එක මේ triangle එකේ මේ hypotenuse එකට සමානයි. මේ side එක common ළමයි triangles දෙකටම. අපි දන්නවනේ triangles දෙකක් congruent වෙන cases හතරක් තියෙනවා. එකක් තමයි right angle triangle එකේ hypotenuse එකයි side එකයි. Right. Subject to that condition, these two triangles are people congruent. For two congruent triangles, the corresponding sides are equal in length. Therefore, AC length and CB length are equal. Understood? But this AC plus CB, the total is 14. Therefore, AC and CB each should be equal to 7 units. Understand? Right now. Then we need to find this H people. This is now found to be 7 now. Now you can find this H. Can somebody tell me how to find this H? Now you can use the Pythagoras theorem to this triangle AOC. Right? Now, by AOC triangle, using Pythagorean theorem, Pythagorean theorem. We can write people. This is 7 squared plus H squared is equal to people 14 squared. Right now. Then we can subject this H squared, taking this right hand side, 14 squared minus 7 squared. The right hand side we can simplify. Right hand side you have difference of two squares. What are the factors, people? It's like a squared minus b squared. What are the factors? A minus b into a plus b. Huh? I will make factorize 14 minus 7 into 14 plus 7. Like this we get 14 minus 7 is 7 people, 14 plus 7 is 21. This 21 again you can write as 7 into 3. Then 7 squared into 3 come in there as H squared. Okay, no? This 7 and 7 make people 7 squared, no? Now we have to take the square root on the right hand side. Once you take the square root of the 7 squared, this 2 will vanish. We get 7. And we have to take the square root of 3, that will be root 3. Then H will be equal to what, people? 7 root 3. All right. Now, people, we have enough information to find out the area of the sector and the area of the triangle. Then we find them, and then we subtract the area of the triangle from the area of the sector. We get the answer of the shaded region. Understand? Okay. Now we can come to that part. Then you can start to write what? Area of the shaded region. Area of the shaded region. Clear lamai? Ekal hoyan ban. Find the area of the shaded region. Area of the shaded region. What people? area of the AOB sector minus area of the AOB triangle. Area of the AOB sector, what is that, people? It's half theta. Theta, don't substitute 60. Don't substitute 60. If you substitute 60, that's completely wrong. Why? The formula we derived half theta r squared. Theta should be, people, measured in radians. What is 60 degrees in radians? Pi by 3. We found today, no? Their pi is what? 22 upon 7. Right. So then we write half theta means 60. That means in radians pi by 3. R squared means 14 squared. Minus area of the triangle AOB, half base. Base is, people, that AB 14, perpendicular height H, this one 7 root 3. 7 root 3. Now we have to simplify this a little bit. Yeah. How to take that, people? The answer. Yeah, here half. This 3 I can write as 1 by 3. This pi I can write as 22 upon 7. And this 14 squared I can write as 14 into 14 minus here half into 14 into 7 root 3. Right now? Then this 7 we can cancel down with 114 here. We get 2. Right. Now you can see here this half and here half common. No, we can simplify this, people. I think the simplification is much easier rather than taking common factors out. Right? අපි ළමයි මේ දෙකයි කපල් දාමු. එතනත් මේ දෙකයි මේ කපල් දාමු. දැන් අපිට ලැබෙන්නේ මොකක්ද බලන්න? 22 into 14 divided by 3. 22 into 14 divided by 3. Minus what, people? 7 and 7, 49 root 3. ඉතින් ළමයි ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේක තව ටිකක් සිම්ප්ලිෆයි කරගන්න. ගෙදර වැඩක් විදිහට. හා? Do this as homework. Simplify and take notes, right? Yeah. People, that is the first part of this lesson. ඒක තමයි අපි පළවෙනි කොටස මේ lesson එකේ. Right? Right. After this, now we have to learn about the basic trigonometric ratios. Basic trigonometric ratios. Okay. More theories available in this lesson. මේ lesson එකේ ළමයි ගොඩාක් theories තියෙනවා. ඒ theory අපි ඔක්කොම එකට එක සැරේ ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕනේ. ගොඩාක් විට ඔයගොල්ලෝ පන්ති වලදී මේ theories හැම එකක්ම කරෙන්නේ නැහැ ඔයගොල්ලෝ. එහෙම වුණාම ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ මේ trigonometric knowledge එක මොකද solid knowledge එකක් නෙවෙයි. එහෙම වුණාම ළමයි ගණන් හදන්න බෑ. එහෙම මින් අතගාලා කරලා බෑ. මේක හොඳට ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕනේ. Right? Yeah. Value of root 3 as an root 3 is 1.7321. You can put to get this out. Right. So then, people, next day onwards, we'll start the next trigonometry theory part, basic trigonometry ratios plus some other theories. Right? Okay. All right. So then today, I suppose we'll stop this class here. Right. Next day we discuss the new theories, trigonometry theories. Right. I suppose to continue the class like 10:30. Okay. All right. So then, any question today? The lesson. Anybody? Yes. ළමයි අඩහර ප්‍රශ්න මොනවද තියෙනවද? Right? No. Right. right. Okay, then people එහෙනම් ළමයි ඔයගොල්ලෝගේ පන්ති කන්ටිනියු කරන්න ඉන්න කට්ටිය අනිවාර්යෙන් මට එවන්න. මම next week ඒ වෙන ළමයිගේ registration එක අරගෙන මේ class එක මම schedule class එකක් විදිහට කරන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ට කලින් පන්තිට ඉන්න කලින් class එක schedule කරලා ඔයගොල්ලන්ට email එකක් දී ඒ schedule එකට ඔයගොල්ලෝ එන්න වෙන්නේ. කලින් ආපු අයත් ඕනද කියලා. ඔව් කලින් ආපු අයත් ඕනේ. ඔක්කොමලා එවන්න ළමයි. මොකද හේතුව දැන් මම ක්ලාස් එක මේ දක්වා 23 ළමයිගේ පන්ති කරනකොට අපි ඒප්‍රිල් පටන් ගත්තේ ෆස්ට් ගෲප් එක. ඊට පස්සේ තව ගෲප් දෙකක් පටන් ගත්තා. මම මේ දක්වා කිසිම ආමයකට රෙගුලේෂන් එකක් දැම්මේ නැහැ පන්තිට එන්න බැරි වෙන්න. ගොඩක් ළමයි දන්නවා අපි quadratic equation lesson එක free seminars සීරීස් එකකින් කරා. මාස දෙකමාරක් අපි පන්ති කරා ෆ්‍රී සෙමිනාර් එකක් දාලා සම්පූර්ණ ලෙසන් එකම කරලා අපි පාස් පේපර්ස් ඩිස්කස් කරා. අන්තිම පන්ති ඉවර කරන දවසේ ළමයි තනියම පාස් පේපර්ස් කරා කියලා මට මෙසේජ් කරලා තිබ්බා. ඒකට අපි එහෙම කළේ එකක් තමයි ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඇත්තටම දැන් අපි මේ කොවිඩ් සිටුේෂන් එකත් එක්ක ගොඩක් අයට පන්ති හොයාගන්න බැරි වුණා. ඕලෝල්ස් හරියට ඉගෙන ගන්න බැරි වුණා. ඔන්ලයින් වලින් ඉගෙන ගත්තේ. ගොඩාක් ප්‍රශ්න තිබුණා. ගොඩක් දෙමාපියන්ට ගිවන්න බැරි ප්‍රශ්නක් තිබුණා. ඒ නිසා කිසිම රෙස්ට්‍රික්ෂන් එකක් මම ළමයින්ට දුන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක සමහර ළමයි මේක මිස්යූස් කරා. මගේ සමහර රෙකෝඩින්ග්ස් මම දුන්නා ෆ්‍රීලි මම දුන්නා ඔක්කොටම බලන්න කියලා ළමයින්ට. සමහරවිට පන්ති 50 ස්ටුඩන්ට්ස් විතර ඉන්නේ. නමුත් රෙකෝඩින්ග්ස් තියෙනවා views තියෙනවා 600 700 විතර. ඒ කියන්නේ ගොඩක් පන්තිට ඉන්නේ නැතුව රෙකෝඩින්ග් විතරක් බලනවා. දැන් ඉතින් අපිට ඒ තත්ත්වෙ නතර කරන්න වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. ඒ නිසා දැන් අපි රෙකෝඩින් එක දුන්නත් ඕගොල්ලෝගේ මේ ගෲප් එකට රෙකෝඩින් එක දෙන්නේ. ඕගොල්ලෝගේ ඊමේල් ඇඩ්‍රස් එක අරගෙන ඕගොල්ලෝ රෙජිස්ටර් කරලා ඒ ඊමේල් ඇඩ්‍රස් එකකින් විතරක් බලන්න පුළුවන් විදිහට තමයි රෙකෝඩින් එක මින් පස්සේ දෙන්නේ. ඊට කලින් ඔයගොල්ලෝ පන්තිට එනකොට තමයි ඔයගොල්ලෝ රෙජිස්ටර් වෙන්න ඕනේ. හින්දා තමයි මම කියන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඩේටා එක වන්න කියලා. හරි? ඔයගොල්ලෝ පන්තිට එන්න දිගට මම හිතන්නේ මගේ දෙන එක්ස්පීරියන්ස් එකත් එක්ක ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ඒ පාස් එකක් ගන්න ප්‍රශ්නයක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ ළමයි. ගොඩක් ඔයගොල්ලෝ ළමයි ගොඩක් කට්ටිය කලබල වෙනවා ඉක්මනට සිලබස් කවර් කරගන්න ඕනේ ඉක්මනට ලෙසන්ස් ඉවර කරගන්න ඕනේ කියලා. එහෙම යන්න එපා ළමයි. මේ A level කියන්නේ ලොකු තරගයක්. මේ තරගෙන් ගොඩ එන්න නම් ඔයගොල්ලෝ හරියට හරි දේ හරි වෙලාවට කරන්න ඕනේ. හදිස් වෙන්න එපා ළමයි. ගොඩක් ළමයින්ට හරි ඉක්මනින් ඕනේ සිලබස් ඉවර කරගන්න. සමහර ළමයි මට මැසේජ් කරනවා සර් අර පන්ති මේ ලෙසන්ස් ඔක්කොම ඉවරයි. මේ ඇයි අපි පරක්කු කියලා. ළමයි අපි පරක්කු නෑ. අපි පරක්කුයි කියලා ළමයි හිතන්නේ මෙහිමයි. දැන් ඕගොල්ලෝ අපේ 2021 අයියලා අක්කලාගෙන් 2022 අයියලා අක්කලාගෙන් අපි පන්ති ගැන අහුවොතින් මම මේ දවස්වල 2022 පන්තියේ relative velocity lesson එක කරනවා. හැම අවුරුද්දෙම ඒකෙන් ගාණක් එනවා. මේ වෙනකොට මම ළමයි ගණන් 19ක් හදලා තියෙනවා. තවත් ගණන් 5ක් විතර මම හදන්න ඕනේ. ඒක ගණන් 25ක් විතර මම හදනවා. ඒක ගානකට නියලි යනවා 1 hour විතර ළමයි. ඒක සමහර ක්ලාසස් තියෙනවා ගණන් 5යි මුළු පාඩමටම හදන්නේ. නමුත් මේ පාඩමේ තියෙනවා ගණන් එන්න පුළුවන් වෙනස් ආකාරම 8ක් විතර. ඒ කියන්නේ ගණන් එන්න පුළුවන් වෙනස් ආකාර 8ක් තියෙනවා. There are nearly 8 different types of questions may be coming in this lesson. But in such classes, people they do all together 5 questions. They haven't done at least the number of questions which sufficient to cover up what all different types of questions. ප්‍රශ්නේ එන්න පුළුවන් ආකාර 8ක් තියෙනවා. ඒතකොට එක ආකාරයකින් ළමයි එක ගානක් හැදුවා ප්‍රශ්න 8ක්වත් හදන්න ඕනේ. සමහර පන්ති තියෙන ප්‍රශ්න 5යි කරන්න උපරිම. ඉතින් එහෙම කරලා ළමයි විභාග පාස් වෙන්න බෑ. ඉතින් එහෙම කරන පන්ති වල තමයි ගොඩක් ළමයි කැමති. ඒ ළමයි ඇත්තටම ඒ ෆේල් වෙන ගමනක යන්නේ ළමයි. ඒ කියන්නේ ෆේල් වෙන්න බලෙන් ෆේල් වෙන්න තමයි ළමයි යන්නේ. එහෙම මම ළමයිට උගන්වන්නේ මගේ මේ 23rd year එක මම එහෙම කරලත් නැහැ මට එහෙම කරන්න පුරුද්දකුත් නැහැ මම ඔක්කොම ටික කරනවා. ඉතින් වැඩිපුර ළමයි ගණන් හදනකොට වැඩිපුර කාලයක් යනවා. හැබැයි ඒ දැනට ඔය ගොඩාක් පාඩම් කරගෙන යන පන්තිවල ඒ ගුරුවරුත් අන්තිමට සිලබස් එක කව කරන්නේ මම කව කරන්න පස්සේ. ඒක තමයි ළමයි පුදුමදී. එහෙනම් මොකක්ද ඒගොල්ලෝ කරන්නේ නැත්තේ? පස්සේ පොඩි ගණන් ටිකක් හදාගෙන කාලේ කකා ඉන්න ඇති. ඒ නිසා හරි දේ හරියට හරි වෙලාවට කරන්න. එතකොට තමයි අපිට මේ එලොස් ගොඩ එන්න පුළුවන්. හරි. ඉතින් ඕගොල්ලොන්ට මගේ පන්තිට එන්න මුණා නැහැ. ඕගොල්ලෝ හිතනවා නම් මේකෙන් කරගන්න පුළුවන් කියලා ඕගොල්ලෝ දිගටම එනවා නම් දිගටම එන්න නැත්නම් අදම නතර වෙන්න. මොකද නැත්නම් ළමයි මේක කරන්න බෑ අපිට. ඕගොල්ලෝ හිතන්නේ ඕගොල්ලෝ පුළුවන් වෙයි කියලා එහෙම වෙන්නේ නැහැ ළමයි. ගොඩක් මහන්සි වෙන්න ඕන ඕගොල්ලෝ. So ඕගොල්ලෝගේ ටියුට් එක මම ඕගොල්ලන්ට පෝස්ට් එකකින් ඉස්සරහට එවනවා. So මට ඕගොල්ලෝගේ ඇඩ්‍රස් එකක් ඕන වෙනවා. මම ඒවා ඉල්ලන්නම් වෙලාවකදී. ඕගොල්ලෝ ඔක්කොම මට දෙන්න. So ටියුට් එක ඕගොල්ලන්ට පෝස්ට් එකේ. මේ ක්ලාස් එක ඕගොල්ලෝගේ A levels පන්තිවලට යනකල්ම A level exam එකට යනකල්ම අපි කරනවා. ඔන්ලයින් ක්ලාස් එක නතර කරන්නේ නැහැ. ෆිසිකල් පන්ති පටන් ගත්තා. ඒකට එන්න පුළුවන් කට්ටිය ආස කට්ටියකට එන්න මේ ක්ලාස් එක ළමයි දිගටම යනවා. ඒ නිසා ඔයගොල්ලෝ කිසිම ඩවුට් එකක් තියාගන්න ඉන්න එපා. ඔයගොල්ලෝ රටේ කොහේ හරි ඉන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් අපි ගිය අවුරුද්දේ වැච් එකක් සෞදි වල ඉඳන් ළමයෙක් ඉගෙන ගත්තා මගේ. එයා ගියා මේ කොරෝනා නිසා ඉන්න බැරි වුණා. මෙහි ක්ලාස් එකේ එයා එහෙනම් ස්ටඩි කරා. right? එතකොට එම් ප්‍රශ්නයක් වුණේ අපි 22 සම්පූර්ණයෙන්ම හරි ඔන්ලයින් කරලා 2021 වල දැන් අපි කොවිඩ් නිසා නතර වුණේ ලාස්ට් ඉයර් මාර්ච්නේ එදා ඉඳන් මේ වෙනකල් ඒ ළමයි 2021 ළමයි දැන් කරලා අපි සිලබස් එක දැන් තව එක ලෙසන් එකක් තියෙනවා ඉවරයි. ඉතින් ඒ නිසා ළමයි අපි මේ 2023 බැච් එකත් ඒ වලට යනකල්ම කරනවා කිසිම ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඩවුට් එකක් තියාගන්න එපා. පන්ති දිගටම එන්න තියෙනවා නම් දිගටම එන්න තේරෙනවා නම් එන්න. හැබැයි ළමයි පන්තියකින් දෙකකින් තේරෙනවද නැද්ද කියන තීරණය කරන්න එපා. ඕනම ගුරුවරයෙකුට පුළුවන් ඕගොල්ලෝ ට්‍රැවටින් උගන්වන්න. මොකද පොඩි ඒවා ටිකක් කියලා දීලා මේක තමයි ගාන කියලා ඕගොල්ලෝ හිතානේ ගාන හදනවා. නමුත් විභාගයට ළමයි එන ගණන් ඒවයි ගණන් නෙවෙයි. ඒත් පොඩි පොඩි ගණන් හදලා එහෙම ඕගොල්ලෝ රවට්ටන්න පුළුවන්. ඒකෙන් හිතන්න යන්න එපා මේ ක්ලාසස් හොඳම ක්ලාසස් කියලා. ඕගොල්ලෝ ටිකක් බලන්න ඇවිල්ලා පන්තියට ඇවිල්ලා බලන්න මාස 3-4ක් ඇවිල්ලා බලන්න. පාඩම් 3-4ක් කරලා ඕගොල්ලෝ බලන්න ඕගොල්ලෝ පාස් පේපර්ස් වලින් 100ට කොච්චර percentage එකක් හදන්න පුළුවන්ද කියලා. අඩුම ගාන ළමයි 65% past papers you should be able to work out alone after completing the lessons. If so, people, that's a good class. Why the rest 35%? People, that rest 35% of the questions in past papers relevant to that lessons, you can of course do after some time, because time factor is another very important one. For some lessons, people, you need the help of some other lessons. And in some cases, people, there are at the moment you can't understand something, but with the time you can understand many things. So therefore, the time is a good factor. සමහර දේවල් ළමයි තියෙනවා අපි කාලය තමයි අපට දෙන්නේ උත්තරේ වට. ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැන් O levels කරාට වඩා දැන් හිතන විදිය වෙනස්. දැන් හිතනවා ඇති ඕගොල්ලෝ මේ O level maths කියන්නේ මොනවද කියලා. තව හිතුන්නේ නැහැ ළමයි. තව ඉස්සරහට තමයි හිතන්නේ O level වලට කරපු maths මොනවද කියලා. ඒක ඕගොල්ලෝ හිතන වෙනස්කමකුත් වෙනවා ඉස්සරහට. ඒ ඔක්කොම කාලයත් එක්ක එන්නේ. මේ කාලය එනකල් ඉන්න ඕනේ. ඉතින් දැනට ඔයගොල්ලෝ කරන පාඩම් වලින් 65%ක් විතර ගණන් හදා ගන්න පුළුවන් නම් හොඳ පන්තියක්. ඒක 35 ළමයි කාලයත් එක්ක ඕගොල්ලෝ කරගන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙමයි අපි හොඳ පන්තියක් ඩිසයිඩ් කරන්නේ. මම කියන්නේ මගේ පන්තිය හොඳම පන්තිය කියලා. ඒක ඕගොල්ලෝ තීරි ඉස්සරහට සහ අයියලා ගක්ලන් ඇහුවොත් ඕගොල්ලෝ තීරි මොකද්ද මේ පන්ති තත්ත්වය කියන එක. රයිට්. එහෙනම් ළමයි අපි අද මෙතනින් පන්ති නතර කරනවා. අපි next week හම්බෙමු. ඕගොල්ලන්ගේ data ටික ඔක්කොම මට එවන්න. ඒතකොට මම රෙජිස්ටර් කරගන්නම්. ඊට පස්සේ schedule class එකකින් තමයි මම ගන්නෙ. මගේ registration එක ඉන්න අය විතරයි මම allow කරන්නේ ඉන්න. ඒ නිසා ඔයගොල්ලෝ registration එක ගන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලා ඔයගොල්ලෝ මිස්ටර් ටික මට එවන්න. Right. So then people, to everybody, good night. We'll meet next day.